Hello traders, John at StockBookie.com. Today I'm looking at Amazon, Facebook, Google, Netflix, Apple. We follow the daily, weekly, monthly timeframes. We use technical analysis here at StockBookie.com. Go to our website, sign up for these free videos, live streams, trade alerts, and educational stuff like this. And we're just going to look through charts and try to find out which way these stocks can possibly go. So Amazon daily chart, we did have earnings today. Right now the price is at 805. So we're down in this area here where we do have support actually. So it came to the 807 to the 803.84 area, which you do have support from these pivots. So we're down in here hanging, going sideways. Let's see when this thing opens. Do we go one more level down to the 618 to the 784 level, or do we pop up and possibly go? Because you might get by the dippers coming in and buying this because it was, what was it, almost $35 down after hours. So, but if you're bullish, you need to get it back above these this 20 MA and then shoot up and possibly fill the gap and go for double top, and then maybe higher prices. If you're bearish, and we'll watch for pattern and maybe possible dribble. If the markets are weak, then Amazon will be going down a little bit further. But you will get by the dippers in this one, but be careful, guys. Don't wait for this thing to pull back, and then let's see where this thing can possibly bounce. I'm still thinking in the 781 area, but right now, one step at a time with this. 30, what was the last price? 805.10, so right in that area. So let's see where this thing opens tomorrow, and we'll play it from there. Let's go to the Facebook chart. Facebook too had earnings and just can't get anything going, guys. It's kind of, I just look at this market today, with the up and down action all day in the SPY, which was a little bit crazy. But then I'm seeing stuff like this where they had blowout earnings. Everybody hopped in if you weren't in Facebook, and then they just pull it down in everyone's face. So that tells me if we get some follow through tomorrow, guys, on the downside, look out for Facebook. This one could be heading lower. So if you're bullish, you want to stay above these moving averages, and you want to turn around and go for the all-time highs again. Supposedly they had good earnings and everything blew it out of the water, but let's see if we go down lower. If it does crack the 20 MA and this trend line down here and fills the gap right around 126.62, then I'd say we're heading to these other moving average here around 122. So be careful. If you're bullish, you need to get above this pivot and keep going. With some nice volume like these couple days. If this thing's bearish and starts coming in really good tomorrow as well, then you got to respect it, and it might be coming back in fast and furious. So just be careful, guys. If you're long in this one, just tighten that stop up a little bit, because next thing you know, we're filling the gap down here at 115. So as long as it stays above the moving averages, it's okay. If it starts cracking them, then you got to be careful with it. Weekly chart, same thing. You got above it, but now you're back below it on the weekly. So let's see if we close down here. Then I'd look for a bullish pattern going sideways, maybe a little down, and then boom, maybe a pop. But if this thing comes back in next week and really starts falling, then I would look for the 112, and then maybe even the 107. Got to be careful with these little, that it kind of comes around a little bit of a bearish pattern here, then pops up for a couple days, and then boom, next thing you know, boom, reversal, and it comes right back in. So be careful. And right now with the earnings, this thing should be ripping right now, and that's the other sign where it's like, ooh, that didn't look good. SPY and everything starts to sell. These are going a lot lower. So just be careful. And look at the monthly on this one. Needs to come back and touch this one, which is around 113, the 20 MA. Hasn't done it in a little while, so that's pretty standard. So then this thing comes right back in. It'll be interesting because people will start, oh wait, what's going on here? So look for that area around 113. So just be careful with Facebook right now. Be careful with everything right now, guys. Google, same thing, just, gaps up on earnings and boom, right back down. I mean, now it's setting up for possible lower prices. If this 50 MA cracks, we're going to come down here, fill the gap, and ultimately we're coming right down in here. 777 or so, 778 right in here. But if this goes for another little while longer, this should curl up a little bit. So maybe 785, but we'll keep an eye. If this thing cracks through this tomorrow or a Monday, boom, we're going to gap fill, and we're coming here real quick. So, look at that so far. Some nice pullback here. I don't know if it's going to bounce, but if it bounces and retraces and fills this gap, I'm going to be going short on this one again. And if you're long, and if it starts going back up into this area, you better tighten that stop, because it could come back down. So just be careful. A pattern like this, which was pretty bullish, comes in and then fails. That's telling me lower prices to come. So be careful with this stuff. Google here, you have good support coming up though, around 806, 805. So But you got it again. You got a nice little tail here, and then boom, comes back in, and then next thing you know, you're coming back down. You do have this trend line there, which is pretty good. It should hold it as well as the 50 MA. So watch out for that as well. Let's see if we come back in, or do we make a run for the highs again? If you're bullish, you want to get back above the highs and keep running on some good volume. If you're bearish, you want to get below the 20 and then the 50, and then I think we're coming down a gap or the pivot here. And ultimately, we're coming down here. I don't know wherever this price is, but right now it's at 618. So keep an eye on the 200 moving average because that's where I think all these high flyers are going to be going eventually. Nflx, Netflix. So this one, nothing wrong. I mean, it's making a run. Here's the highs that I had possibly pegged in there. You have an upsloping trend line from those two guys there. And then you have a mathematical number up there at 145.68, which it hasn't made it yet. But on the weekly, we have a nice little reversal going down here. Let's see where we close tomorrow. But on the daily, again, nothing wrong. I mean, but I like this pattern for a possible, it's going to come in. But we'll see. It might come in and maybe chop around maybe one more time, but not a bad area. If you're not short Netflix, think about shorting it or do a spread. Bet on it going maybe closing below 40 bucks or something like that. I wouldn't buy a put because it could go sideways a little bit more, but I'm thinking eventually this thing's going to fall apart. So that's what I'm looking for on Netflix. If you're not short, short it. And then you're looking for just get below this, and then you get below the 20, because I'm honestly, I really think this can easily go back to 100 bucks. So just to let you know. So do something. Puts, don't do it. I mean, you can, if you do, buy one or two, just small ones, maybe in the money, and just ride it like that. But man, tough trades right now. If it holds up there for another month, which it can, and then the Donald Trump, and all that crap. And then Apple too, earnings, nothing. I mean, $7-8, big deal. Oh my gosh, it's Apple, blowout earnings. We came up here, and I'm pretty sure it was the gap we filled. Oh, it's been a long one today, guys. Yeah, right there. You have this here, and then you have this little pivot there. Look at that, right to the penny. Look at that. That's a nice big gap right there. Didn't fill it, didn't come back up enough. A little bit more, it would have filled it. Or it would at least went to the gap, the gap down here, and then double top up here. So, man, and just nothing. And today down 22 cents. Good earnings. You would think after this is a pretty decent pattern, but it did move up from the 104 to the 120, in the last couple months, and then the pop. Now if it dribbled, then maybe $100, and then the $20 pop, but $7-8 pop, that's it, and then kind of weak showing on the next day. And then if we get downside on this market tomorrow, this is going to come right in. If it does, watch out for support at the low here. But if it cracks 127 area and closes, then probably Apple's heading lower. That's all I can say. But again, these are my opinions. And then lastly, I want to go to the spider. You stuck around long enough for all these. Monthly chart. This is what I show everybody. If you come to my live sessions, we do some streaming stuff live. We do some live trades. And, here's your double top. This is the .com boom, the housing boom, and this is where we're at right now, up in here. This is QE1, then QE2, QE3, and then this might have been QE3 or something here possibly. But when we came in, and it was chatter, lip service, and look, just straight up, pretty much pegged to the 20 MA. We were pretty much stretched from the 200 MA. Eventually, it needs to come back down. I don't care what it is or when it happens, but it's going to come back down. Whether this curls up a little bit, but I'm honestly thinking this is easily going to come down to these pivots here around the 182 to 181 area. And you got this little pivot here around 175. That'd be a quarter number. But ultimately, you're going to get the double top and then come back in. We're 8 years into a bull run. We're almost 10 years into the top here. If you're working with that stuff, if you're keeping track, anybody. But yeah, I mean, you need a heck of a run too. In the last, pretty much straight up for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 months, almost a year straight up into the end of Obama's presidency, which was perfect. Well, look what Obama did. It was great. Actually, look what the Fed did. Sorry. Anyways, enough preaching by StockBookie. But again, I'm John C. at StockBookie.com. Go to my website, sign up, all that good stuff. And if you like these videos, that's where I'm going to be posting more of them. And eventually, I'm going to have some on YouTube. But if you're not signed up, that's where all of them are going to be, especially ones like this where I'll do individuals, maybe one on Netties, one on Baba. Send me an email. I'll do one for you out there, and send me emails. What do you want me to do charts on, guys? and then I'll pick the favorite ones and I'll start doing charts on those too as well. But that's why I like to go short in these markets. We have a ton of positions on Twitter, and most of them are short. And as each of one's coming in, guys, it's like one after another. And I think we had a little over 70 positions on Twitter. Some are upside down, some are in the money, some we already covered. But by the end of the day, we get one nice pullback, maybe a week or so. They'll all come in because they're all high flyers, and that's what high flyers do. All right, thanks for watching my video, guys. I really do appreciate. I really do appreciate. I can't even talk right now, and I love doing this stuff, like I always say. And thanks again, guys. God bless. See you on the charts.